Hello once again, Allah, the Baha'i greeting to everyone in the planet. My name is Abbas Tamori. I am the elder of Baha'u'llah, his special envoy on the planet, to fix particularly the part that is missing, almost like a patch that has to be sent for the window to work. However, it falls in my jurisdiction that I have the art, shall I say, the art and the power of interpreting the Word of God. That is a part of my job that I have to do, which does not make me, as Shoaib Effendi says, superior over anybody else on the planet as far as the spiritual power concerns. I'm just an ordinary guy with talents, just like Beethoven and Mozart, you know, and Robert Boyle, all of them. So we're continuing this story, this huge saga of the human understanding of the presence of God, Himself, whatever. From the last part, I put here 6 lines because these parts are all connected. I had to put 6 lines today. It's a little smaller, but Baha'u'llah comes here and explains here essentially the faculty required to understand that divinity of God in us. What is He required, he says, to do? Begins like this: Zan ke asma gar do sad qarn ou parad. Zan ke asma gar do sad qarn ou parad. Because if asma means the noun, the names of God he refers to. Gar, if, the word is agar, but we call it agar, gar. Do, sat, 200, qarn is century. U, that, parad, flies. He says, what you create these names for God, you know, the compassionate, the merciful, all these names that you're attributing to God and God attributes to Himself in His revelations. He says all these names, if they flash 200 century, he says, mi nayawrad, cannot bring, ke ze qadrash bu barad, that cannot, that, ke that ze of, qadrash means predestinations, his predestination, bu barad, take a smell. In Persian, to understand something, it means to smell it. If you say the guy is smelling, we have that in English too. He smells rat, we say. So we say in Persian, you know, if you smell something, Baha'u'llah says that it cannot, these nouns that we know, these names that we know for God, if they fly 200 century fast, that fast, they would not understand the predestinations of God. And this is the typical line poetry of Baha'u'llah. He uses the word u. U is a pronoun, meaning he or she, definitely applied to the mankind only. An animal cannot be u, things cannot be, nothing else can be u except man, human being and God. So u is a reference to what? To asma, the names. It should have not been u, it should be on, that. But Baha'u'llah uses u. This Mathnavi is the most eloquent, the most substantial of any writing that I have seen. No prejudice to the Baha'i writing. And I'm familiar with the Persian literature of 1,000,000 poems, 1,000,000 lines that have been written. Nothing in this 380 line can match, they cannot match it. The content of it, the substance of it. So the person who reveals this and talks like this with 3-4 rhymes in a line, of course he knows he should not use "oh" and he should use "put on." But Baha'u'llah says no, time has come to change. Somebody has to break this dogma because it's attached to the certain situation that he's breaking it down. He uses the word "oh," not "on." So it's typical. Like in Arabic, there is no P. Baha'u'llah enters the letter P as in Peter in Arabic. And in Arabic language, to the Pope, he says, "An ya Papan." So Arab, they say, "Excuse me, we don't have P in Arabic." Baha'u'llah says, "We'll have one now." You see? So such as this. I was just on the literary point of view. Otherwise, Baha'u'llah says, if these names that we're giving to God, if they apply 200 centuries, they would not understand Qadr, which means the predestination, the pre-existence, the essentiality of God. They cannot smell it away. Can't. So why then are we using all these names for God? Abdu'l-Baha helps us. He says these names, in some answered questions, he says, His Holiness says, these names are not indicative of understanding the essence of God. No. These names are a statement of reality of negating something from God. When we say God is kind, we really mean God is not cruel, which means that He's kind. The kindness of God is not something that we can understand it. If we would understand it, then we would not question why is He bringing earthquake and why somebody is born, a handicap, and why can't we get what we want and all that jazz. We do not know. Only in a certain distance God is kind. That distance away is called Baha'u'llah. Baha'u'llah, planet Earth. On Baha'u'llah's revelation, the planet Earth, God is all light. You pass the planet Earth to Mercury, God is the very hell that you know of, because it completely burns you away. Excuse me. So, what are then we use these names for? Baha'u'llah, Abdu'l-Baha says, these names are referred to, rightfully so, to the manifestation of God. Let's say on a TV, Prime Minister of Canada, Mr. Harper, is speaking. We say, hey, he's so bright. What are we talking about? We say the screen is bright. Whatever we're talking about that screen where Prime Minister is being shown. None of what we're saying is applicable to his reality. We say he's so smooth. Why? Because we touch the screen. Prime Minister is not smooth. We don't know where he is. So whatever we refer, we are referring to the screen, to the show. God is an actor. He plays different persona. One day is Christ, one day is Jesus, one day is Muhammad, another day is Buddha, and whatnot, and so on and so forth. None of these personas is him. He's the real kahuna, we don't know who he is. He's acting. Now he's acting as Baha'u'llah, acting as Abdu'l-Baha, acting as Buddha, and so many on. We never know the real actor. So everything that we're talking about is referred to the persona, not really to the reality of that actor. We don't know what it is. If we say anything about him that we know, then God is known, it's not going to work. So, emphasizing on the fact, Baha'u'llah says, آنچه چشمت دید و هم گوشت شنید آنچه, whatever, چشمت, te means yours, whatever your chashm, eye, did, saw, or and ham also, gushat, gush means ear, gushat, your ear, shenid, heard, whatever your eye saw and also your ear heard او ز جمله پاک آمد ای رشید. او, he, the God, ای ز, from, جمله, everything, پاک آمد, came clean. Let me say in English, we could say he came off clean. Came clean, came sanctified. ای او Rashid, he's talking to us. Rashid comes from the Rosh. Rashid means mature. The person who's intellectual, mature one. The person who has understanding. He's saying that whatever your eye and your ear is heard, he came clean of it all. O mature one, do not see him with the eye that you see. Imagine on the screen you see Napoleon Bonaparte is talking. You see him as Napoleon, he talked like Napoleon. Is he Napoleon? No, he's Marlon Brando, he's acting as Napoleon. That's why he says, don't look at what you see. It's not him, he says. Then continues again, he says, پس تو با این گوش و چشم بی بصر. Past then to you, ba with in this gush, ear, o and chashm, eye, a, o, bi basar, without discernment, without insight. Basar means eye, also it means insight. Bi negated, means the one who's lacking insight. It says, or the one who's lacking insight, breadth of understanding, of insight and discernment. How are you with these ears and eyes, O blind? Says, کی شوی از سر جانان با خبر. How, when, شوی, کی means how, when, کی شوی. When will you become, as from, سر, the secret of, جانان, the beloved, با خبر, informed, comprehend. With these ears and eyes, how would you understand the secret of the beloved? Oh, oblivions, he says. What's then the solution? He says, چشم دیگر برگشا از یار نو. گوش دیگر باز کن آنگه شنو. چشم دیگر, چشم, eye, چشمه, of, n is of, دیگر, another, برگشا, open, as from, یار نو, from the new beloved, from Baha'u'llah. Open another eye, from the new beloved, which is Baha'u'llah. Let him to help you to open another eye. گوش دیگر باز کن. Open another ear. گوش, ear, دیگر, another, باز کن, open, آنگه, and that time. گه means time, on means that. On that time, شنو, hear. So you need a different eye. You need a different ear to hear. This is not a reference that we should not listen with our ear, or not to see with our eyes. No, no, no. Baha'u'llah is not talking about nothing but physical here. What he's trying to say that who is watching. Remember, we have 5 selves. We have an animal within, inside, called a program, animal spirit. We have human spirit. We also have a spirit of faith, Baha'u'llah says, something that is a transition between human and manifestation of God, something that we are supposed to do. That's all the Baha'i faith is, to install or activate that spirit of faith, which is something between human spirit and the Holy Spirit, called a spirit of faith. So, I look at an eye, I open my eye. If I'm looking at the eye of animal eye, I say, oh, sexy girl, Oh, good food. Ooh, delicious. Smells good. That's the animal response to the smells, to the beauty of the leg of the woman. But there's a human side to me. It says, wait a second, whose food is this? Who made the food? Where's it coming from? Who is this woman? Is she married? Does she have AIDS? Is she going to sue me? Human asks questions. It won't fall into the message of animal right away. But human is having an eye of his own, ear of his own. Animal has an eye of his own. But we're all the same at the same time though. So, if your camera focused on the human spirit, on the animal spirit, or a spirit of fate. So, my hunger says I have to eat the food. Human says, wait a second. But I have another eye. I look on that side and see that, oh my God, this child is sitting there and is hungry. I remember I saw a man outside, he's hungry. I'm going to give the food to them. I'm just going to eat a little. I deny both the animal and the human. There's something else hungry in me. My spirit of faith is hungry. He's opening different eye. He says, no, this food should go to others. I cannot eat that much. If you open the eye, the spiritual eye and ear, how can you claim righteousness? Mr. Abbas Temori, if tonight children are starving in Africa, if the women are battered in Saudi Arabia, if human right is getting violated in many countries, how do you claim righteousness? When tonight under the fig trees in India, people are starving and no food, how can you claim righteousness? You hypocrite, double-cross, oblivious man who thinks he's close to God. Which God are you worshipping, Abbas? Which Baha'u'llah are you talking about? Which eye have you opened tonight? How can I claim righteousness when my real suppressed spirit of faith is waking up to give his opinion? Between the animal, between the human, the spirit of faith opens his eyes and he sees something else. Baha'u'llah says, from this yara no, this no means new beloved, take a different eye and open up a different eye from him, take it. From him, take a different ear and open. Then listen. Then if you listen something else, you see. You want to look at the beauty of the product in front of you. But the other side says this is made by the poor children and the foreign countries. And they don't give them even enough food to make this product. How am I going to be happy about it? And use it? What beauty should I see in it? All I see is ugliness. So, I do not consume. I will not buy clothes expensive. I'll go to the consignment store. That's all I can do. I will object at this. I will not buy brand new cars. I would get old ones. And I'm not going to waste my time to make money that much. I try to do this. The little objections, the littlest that I can do. Because we have to object it ourselves. As a hand who is not aware that the other hand is suffering. The hand of humanity is suffering in Africa and India and many places. So we need to be us. But change the channel from animal to human. No, to the spirit of faith. You just become Baha'i. You're aware of Baha'u'llah. Open that eye that he gave you, this Yareno gave you, you see differently, he says. If you look at that one, you pass the realm of infinity. Anything that takes time will never get there, he says. He will not get there with time. Because he is in the infinity. If there is infinity in the front, how could I use the vehicle of time or anything that is going to be fulfilled by time? Time then is out of question. I have to use willpower, a different vehicle of movement, the decision. Sometimes you say that, oh, it takes a long time, Abbas, to know, like you to know all of these things. No, sir. No. If it takes you 1 minute or 10,000 years, that does not improve your power to become spiritual. No. You took time to decide. That's all it was. You were sleeping on the idea, on the decisions that you had to make. You took time. All this time and all these readings and all of this, we did not help you to become spiritual. It was your decisions. It was the willpower that you implement, a different vehicle. We are facing infinity. There's no time. How can I take time to go to God? Or anything that takes time. It's my decisions. I have to decide. There are things in the way that does not let you to decide. You want to talk. Your throat. Oh, you can talk. Baha'u'llah said to you, who was that? Jealousy, arrogance. He said, clean those things. Then you can speak, you can talk, you can decide. Right. چشم جاهل می نبیند جز قدم. چشم, the eye of جاهل. جاهل, oblivious. An oblivious eye, it says, می نبیند, cannot see. جز, except, قدم, pace. Processing. It takes time, they say. Takes time, Abbas. Takes time. Wait till Baha'i community wakes up. Tell time. No. It doesn't take time to accept the truth. You are taking time to decide, to grow. To what? God knows. So, an oblivious eye cannot see nothing but process. چشم عارف بیند اسرار قدم. For the Jahil, the antonym is Aref. Aref means Sufi, you know. The Sufi, they use the word Aref. Aref means mystique. In here, it does not mystique as in the literal word. Aref really means the person who understands. The eye of understanding and the eye of oblivion. Chashme Jahil, the eye of oblivion. Oblivious. Chashme Aref, the eye of understanding. The eye that understands. Binad asrar qadam. Will look, will see. Asrar, the secret, the mysteries of qadam. Qadam is process, steps. Qadam is the ancient pre-existence. So he says you have to understand, have the understanding. It takes so long in the process for you to read the Baha'i faith, to read the histories, to learn, to grow up, to know what? That you should not be a son of a bitch. That you should be kind. You should be humble. You should not be arrogant. It took a long time. But by one decision also, you could cut all this time process and simply decide not to be a bad person. Say no to that arrogance inside you and the jealousy inside. No, I am not going to hurt this individual. I'm not going to. I'm not going to be careless about his needs. I'm not going to be careless about his feeling. This is people, social. But by God, I will not close my eye to see Baha'u'llah. If you use arrogance there, you are in a serious problem. When you're arrogant towards a man, some of it might be defensive. Some of it might be applicable. But if you are arrogant towards Baha'u'llah and don't see him as anybody, you are attacking the absolute perfection. This is a problem, okay? So, oblivious eye cannot see nothing but process, that it takes time. The eye of understanding, higher understanding, divine understanding, that's what it is, considers the secrets and the mysteries of the ancient, the thing that doesn't take time. چشم عارف 100,000 سال راه. The eye of the divine mystic, the divine understanding, who understands divinity, that kind of an eye, is 100,000 years path. Rah means path, way. Sal means year. Hezaran means thousands. Sad means 100. Chashme Aref, the eye, Chashme, the eye of Aref, divine understanding. The man who understands divinity, divine. Sad, 100,000 years path, just like English. 100,000 path, year path. 100,000 year path. His eye is that much of a view it has, the scope of it. It's 100,000, he says. I haven't seen anybody see that much in the future. چشم جاهل می نبیند روی شاه. The eye of oblivion می نبیند, cannot see the face of the king. Rui means face, Ruye means face of Shah, the king, divine king. So, we got some idea that Baha'u'llah says that the equipment is there. There is an eye. The eye has to see. God has created the eye and created ear. In fact, in the Book of Certitude, he talks about 4 things. The 4 channels, it says, that are up there. It's what you see, what you hear, what you think, and what you feel. He says your heart, what's in your heart, and what's in your mind, and what's in your ear, what you see and what you hear. Those are the channels Baha'u'llah says has to be cleansed. If it is not cleaned, you will not understand. He says 4 channels. He refers to 2 of them, he says. But then before he was talking about the heart and the soul previous video. So we have to clean up these channels of what we see is not seemingly what it is. Maybe you're looking at an animal, look. You see. Maybe you're looking at a human, feeling. Look at him with the eye of other higher self in you. something that's not a profit, but is between profit. And that doesn't come with the time. It's a decision you have to make. Willpower. Anything that takes time, Baha'u'llah says, will not get you there. All of these things is helping you to decide. Until such time you haven't reached. If you decide, then you get there. Without decision you can't. When you die, your willpower is the only vehicle that you have. Or else you're handicapped, having no willpower. A hurting of the soul is like a mosquito on you, eat you up, but you have no willpower, none whatsoever, to move yourself to get the mosquito. He thinks your food and it eats you. In this case is the ideas. You know, sometimes says something to you, you get so pissed off, you're angry. It creates years and years in you. It's because you're lacking the willpower. Because hurting of the soul in time cannot be fixed. It's only getting forgotten, that's all. But it's not fixed. What can fix it is that you move away from the dirt. You have to walk away by the spiritual way. They throw the dirt here when I'm sitting. Well, me and the dirt are going to hurt me. My feeling is hurt. What do? I just go away from it. I don't smell the dirt at all. How I do it? I'm just thinking that this man and what he has done, I could have done exactly the same thing as I was in his place. Therefore, what he's doing is not all in his hand. It's like a bad wind. It's like it's a dog biting you, you know. A dingo is hitting you. What are you going to do against dingo bite? Complain or take him to court? Or get angry? You don't. You get angry from a human because he has a soul. Dingo doesn't have a soul, cannot bite your soul. Bite your leg and you can forget it easily. But a man, when he tells you that some remark about you, it hurts you. Because he has a soul, it's hurting you. Right away you have to know, he's nothing but another dingo. Leave him. Consider him as an accident. Consider him, he's sick, he's cured of virus only. Why are you getting sick? Install some antivirus, take some antibiotic. Go immediately read the book of Baha'u'llah. Read the book of God. Make a surgery, clean yourself up from hating people. Seriously handicapped. I do hate, but I hate what people do to themselves. You know, I hate that after I die, these members of Universal Laws of Justice and a lot of these brokers that are in Haifa, then they found out they made a mistake about Abbas. He was the elder of God. And they have to live in eternity with that bad feeling. So I say to Baha'u'llah, let's stop this rhetoric. I am not going to complain from none of these people. They just do what they have understood to do and what they can do. There's no point that you take revenge from them or I start to hate them. Let's just fix it. This is it. Unfortunate situations. I'm walking and I'm falling down. What am I going to do? Take my leg to court because it didn't keep my body on? So the other Baha'is didn't understand, didn't know. So unfortunate though, you know, that this is the situation. But to hate them, what for? There's no point. They're themselves suffering as soon as they come to the realization what they've done. Basically wasted my time. I could bring Canada into Baha'i faith in the last 15 years. And I tell you in front of Baha'u'llah today, I still can. I have a different ability, brothers and sisters. You know. I know it is possible. But again, it cannot be forced, is it? I can't go on my own right now, sell my house and all for property and go and start to teach. It's going to create divisions in the Baha'i faith. It does. Finally, they say there's this Abbas and then breaks down things, and I cannot do that. I take that advice of William Sears, to be united is better than to be right. So I'll leave it up to you. God forgive me and you. See you.